Monday, April 9th, and you're tuned in to iCannabisRadio.com. And at 7 o'clock, so you know, it's the Amy and Georgia Show. We're here at 3888 East Mexico in Denver, Colorado. We're going to bring you the latest cannabis news tonight. You will hear from, of course, Amy and Georgia. Tonight's producer is Chris Coster. We'll have the latest cannabis news from around the globe in the Mile High City. And tonight's guest is High Times growing expert Nico. He'll be both talking about some of his latest literature as well as next week's High Times Cannabis Cup. So, here, let me turn it over to the ladies.
Hi. Thanks for coming.
Hello. So I have to start by apologizing for my voice.
I think it's so hot.
It's a little raspy and sexy.
Sort of Lauren Bacall-ish.
Maybe.
I kind of like it.
Yeah.
I've got this permagrin thing going on.
Isn't she dead?
You're very happy.
She's not dead, Warren. That would be awful. We'd have to do a show just on Lauren Bacall. You know who is dead, though? Mike Wallace died this week.
Yep, he did.
Is that a shame?
Kincaid also died.
Mm-hmm.
The famous artist.
Yeah. Thomas Kincaid, one of the things that I like, while...
And Davy Jones.
That was a little while ago.
Yeah.
But I feel like it was really important to you.
The monkey? The monkey?
Well, the autopsy came out over the weekend.
Ooh,
So that was
how did he die?
heart attack, but he was THC positive.
Well, that's good to know. How about Whitney? Whitney Houston, her autopsy came out last week,
You don't
too.
even want to know.
THC negative.
It's getting nar, like all the details that are coming out.
Positive.
Yeah, they're like, oh, there was paraphernalia in there. Oh, she had some in her system.
Don't you worry, she just drowned.
Just a few spoons.
She was face down in the tub.
Ugh.
Yeah, not good.
That's super sad.
Whatever.
I have to say,
Her poor daughter.
Oh my gosh. First of all, her daughter was named after Bobby Brown. That alone sets up a lifetime of disappointment, sadness, and probably drug addiction. I mean, really, got to be thoughtful about that. You disagree?
Well, I don't think it would have mattered the name. The genetics do it.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, there you go. The science argument.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if you guys know, we've been having a contest to name our show, and Amy Diallo won.
Woohoo! Like to win. It's always a competition.
Georgia and Amy officially have a name for our show.
Is it Georgia and Amy?
No, but that's really cute.
Okay, just making sure.
Ready,
That's
Aim?
going to be pretty lame.
It's called The Cure with Georgia and Amy. But it's like mainly just The Cure.
Okay.
So it kind of addresses the topic of cannabis as medicine, but also the fact that we do need to work together to have a cure for a lot of these attacks we face federally, on the state level, interpersonally.
We believe in the cure for the attack on personal freedoms, which includes the end of prohibition from here on out, as well as all the other bullshit things we have to deal with, especially as women.
Well, you got about 30 albums to draw from, and it'll take them a while to see. I
was waiting
We
for more
will
to
have
come
a
up with
show
that.
for the rest of our lives.
That's right. I am also a big Cure
and if
fan.
we really work on it, we can pull a tape, I'm pretty sure, and we can cut and paste and then really get sued. Because I have them in
All we have
PRK
to-
studios in Rollins College saying you're listening to Rollins College radio, so we could cut and paste that. And
But
it
you know
would
what?
be rather humorous.
What's the Fair Use Act? You have to give credit, and you can't use the whole thing. And I mean, we'll just
Well,
write.
shit, it's
I
over
mean,
20 years old too, so I think like the copyright thing's dead at that point. Right? Yeah, hey, I'm old. It works.
The
for me this
statute of
time.
limitations for
No,
copyright.
seriously, copyright wears out.
So anyway, The Cure, and so thank you for the three of you who gave us ideas. Warren, Chris, me, Amy won.
Well, and the fact
Cure,
that
I
they
love
didn't
it.
give anything away kind of didn't help. So while we're talking about giving stuff away, let's make sure people know that this station will be at the Cannabis Cup in a couple weeks, not this weekend, but the weekend after. We'll have a booth running there with all these lunatics sitting behind the booth at various times of the day.
Oh, I guess I'm
And,
not sitting behind a booth. I thought I was.
Yeah.
Bummer.
You're the head of the
I'm not a
booth.
lunatic.
Remember the whole Island of Misfit Toys thing. But we won't go there right now.
Mr. Lion.
You know, if you fill out stuff and give us your email information so we can use it and bug you later, we will be giving away a lot of stuff, including some 11th row Rockies tickets for the end of April. Rapids
11th
table.
row behind home plate. Let's just
Yeah.
be very clear.
Just not third base.
Right.
Those are crucial tickets.
Right behind home plate, like right behind home plate. And, well, I'm sure Matt Hatter will donate some glass that we'll be giving away as well. So please check in at our table. table that weekend. And sign up so you can win free stuff.
So speaking of the Rockies a little bit,
Oh.
opening day today, I just have to say, one of my favorite days of the year. I love it. Was there with my two boys, with Warren and Gavin. Fantastic party going on outside. Everyone was having a good time until the game started. And then it all went to hell.
So the whole reason you were there, basically.
Right?
Tough 4 games so far. We'll keep our fingers crossed, but they'd better be really crossed because that
Can you cross other things, like fingers, toes, arms, legs?
At some point, they cancel each other out.
That just gets really uncomfortable after a while.
Well,
You're like a pretzel.
it's the Cubs fans. Cubs fans have been doing it for how many years? Yeah.
Hey, it works for them sometimes, though.
So one of the things that was interesting, just as a side note, if you were at Coors Field today to watch the Rockies get their asses handed to them by the Giants, and you tried to purchase anything with other than cash, what happened, Warren?
Major faux pas today in Coors Field, and I don't know, we might be the first ones reporting it.
Right.
The goddamn credit cards machines didn't work in the whole stadium.
Oh, my God.
How many hundreds of thousands did the stadium lose
Oh, my God.
today?
So the reason why I wanted to bring it up is because the banking issue for the cannabis industry, especially in Colorado, makes it a cash-only business.
The Rockies felt that today.
I want to know, I would love to call...
Yeah, and it would be fascinating. At some point, a real live reporter should be able to get their hands on the team, but I don't know if they'll admit to it, because I was there, and for the first 2 innings, they must have given away tens of thousands of dollars of food, because people were ordering. The line said, "Credit card, we take credit cards." People would order food, and I mean, we were standing there, and Guy had 2 beers, soda, hot dog, fries, popcorn, was drinking and eating it when he announced that he had $8. And they took his $8. And they gave him, in baseball where that's like $175 worth of food. So they comped him the rest. Now I can tell you the next time I was back at the concession stand by the 5th inning, they were like, "Oh, no, ladies and gentlemen, our credit card machines aren't working." And that let me know why there was no line.
Right.
The stadium was sold out. There were people everywhere. The concourses were jammed, and you'd get to the vendors, and it would be empty. And why? Because there was no credit cards today in Coors Field.
Oh, my God.
And so somebody's head rolled.
Oh, yeah. Someone got fired today.
and it was I don't think they made the 7th inning stretch. Because I can tell you, by the 8th inning, it was still not taking credit cards. And at that point, guess what? Booze sales shut off. And how do the Rockies make money? Liquor sales.
Right.
No ifs, ands, or buts. Liquor sales, just like a restaurant,
Well, and especially opening day. Sorry, when I see cookies,
she saw cookies. She got excited.
Especially opening day, where let's be honest. Unlike other games, people do go to have a good time. Opening day is a day-long event. You just don't go for a few hours for the game. You start out early and you go late.
Well, today's weather was unbelievable.
So beautiful.
And I got to give the Rockies credit, short of being like a la Fenway Park in Boston, where they have streets that are always shut off. I mean, they shut off big sections of street. There were tents, there were booths, there were giveaways, there was soda giveaways, there was food giveaways, there were products. I mean, it was a fun time. And even if you didn't have tickets, it was worth going out and wandering around and seeing what was going on, because there was so much stuff and so many people and so many free things and fun stuff to see.
Can I be a health nut for a second?
The freaking Rapids were there.
Yeah. Can I be a health nut for a second? Mm-hmm. So, I mean, you guys all know that I'm a relatively healthy person, but I do eat crap. I do eat crap. I will say that. I love chips and those kinds of things. What I liked about today, the big giveaways were pop chips, which are far better than potato chips, and hummus. They were giving away single servings of
Sbarro? Is that what it's called?
Samsa? I wish I had
that S word.
And
they were everywhere. They were everywhere.
Giving tons of it away, giving it to kids. I mean, it was just so nice to have for a change.
And little teeny containers.
And then
that's awesome.
It was so wonderful, and I was really appreciative of the fact that, I mean, this is a great event, and our son has been to every opening day of his entire life, right, Warren? Mm-hmm. Between the two of us, we brought him to every single one, and it's just a fun environment. But today felt a little bit different because while bars were having specials and those kinds of things, it didn't feel like the the down and dirty, eat a bunch of crap thing that I enjoy when I go to a game. I mean, it's kind of a treat. But to get hummus, I mean, that was just so cool.
Well, the Rockies are kind enough, and I think it's actually a carryover from Elitch Gardens, believe it or not, and the idea that we had an amusement park that would let you bring meals in and eat there.
That's right.
The Rockies let you bring food in.
That's right.
And
Oh,
there
wow.
and there aren't many parks that let you do that. And you have to abide by their container restrictions and the size of your cooler, but you can bring food in, you can bring sandwiches in, you can bring peanuts in, you can bring liquid in a plastic bottle smaller than 16 ounces.
No aluminum cans.
No aluminum cans. But I mean, so we brought 4 containers of hummus and a bunch of pop chips. And they have that great kids section in Coors where you can go buy kids food for cheap.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And-
To buy a kid's hot dog for $1.
Well, and actually, though, we got the kids' meal, but it was pretty fascinating because it came with apples, apple juice, a hot dog, and
Animal crackers.
Animal crackers.
So again, a healthier
yeah.
version. Animal crackers aren't great, but they're not potato chips. So that's
true.
It's still a treat, but it's not as awful.
Well, no, it's a dessert.
And that was the dessert.
Yeah.
So thank you, Rockies, for a fun day and for a fun street party. And
now, if you could, God, the team sucks. So give me a bowl.
No, today sucked. Let's not assume. Oh, Warren.
That can be a whole different show, but at the point somebody older than me makes a starting pitching staff, I'm sorry. Come on.
Oh, that is a burn.
Well, seriously, Jamie Moyer, I am sorry. We'll just go endlessly.
They kept saying on TV, I was watching the game, and they kept saying he was having technical difficulties.
Well, there are three errors today by the Rockies, and I mean some of my favorite players. I mean, ex-Red Sox Marty Scutaro is playing second base. It was just a tough day, but it was a tough series last time, and there's just some glaring weaknesses with this team. But we'll see.
Can I talk a little bit about the Giants? Last year we went to San Francisco and we saw a 3-game series against San Francisco Giants against the Boston Red Sox. Warren and I, it's not a secret, we are diehard Red Sox fans. One of the reasons why, and I lived in San Francisco for...
And the Red Sox are worse than the Rockies this year. But
I know, let's not even talk about that. I lived in San Francisco for a while. It's
Plus, they have a crazier manager than this station. So that's hard to do.
He's easy there. So last year we had this great 3-game series. It was really fun. The weather was beautiful. It was all-time highs in San Francisco. One of the things that I really like about that stadium, first of all, it's beautiful.
Amy's going to love this, though.
They sell splits of champagne.
Oh.
Not just champagne, Dom Perignon.
Yeah, they sell splits. And so there are
only Miss Naples would sit in the bleachers in Giant Stadium with sushi and champagne.
Sushi and champagne.
We took pictures. I mean, it was
nice.
Yeah.
Do they do martinis and stuff like that too?
Everywhere does.
In the bar, yeah. In the bar, yeah. But I could not. I made friends with the people that were selling the splits.
Of course you did.
Right. They were wonderful. And actually, Hector, if you're listening. Thank you, because you made my day.
Yep.
We had the best time. The stadium is beautiful. It's wonderful. I'm not a huge Giants fan anymore. I mean, those days are done, especially after a day like today. And who do I hate, Warren?
Pablo Pando.
No, I don't mind Panda.
But no, Panda hit a home run in the first inning today. He can go. But
yeah,
anyway.
You know what's sad when the Rockies the first hit is from the pitcher.
Oh.
I mean,
wait, the old pitcher?
I just have to.
And the old pitcher actually lost over the weekend. Okay. The young pitcher pitched today, and the pitcher that broke his neck last year is actually their best pitcher. So this is like a bad movie. They're going to roll out Charlie Sheen next. But anyway, I mean, so.
Right?
We were supposed to be discussing news for the last 15 minutes, but part of the problem is, like, Chris and I actually do work now and come in every morning and do the Edson report. And
Amy
so
and I work too.
We already did the news this morning. Feel free to tune in otherwise. But I will take a couple minutes here before we cut to ads to rag on this doctor again, because this is one of the single stupidest things I've read in the Denver Post in a while. And that is specifically, it was published yesterday of 04/08/2012, and it was a guest commentary by Dr. Mark Johnson. And we can get Dr. Shackelford in here, who actually went to a real med school, to discuss the medical part of this. But I just want to talk about the math part of this, because lawyers get ripped all the time for going to law school because they can't add. But
that's not why lawyers get ripped. Let me tell you why lawyers get ripped.
Well, because we're assholes.
Right.
But I mean, above and beyond that,
You're expensive.
If you didn't know,
that's why.
Well, okay.
You're hot, though.
I grew up around doctors, and they're like expensive assholes too. But somehow they get
No,
this,
they're
you know.
expensive and they have bedside manner, but they can't add.
You know, very rarely do lawyers kill people, you know. And I'll leave it at that. But, you know, today, Dr. Johnson, or yesterday, published his commentary that is just an utmost piece of crap on a medical basis. But on a mathematical basis, it's worse. And when I turned my crack news reporter, Christopher Custer, onto this, and he actually...
Kristen Custer. You keep wanting
He's
to...
Christopher.
Casey.
He's not. He's Kristen.
Look, oh, sorry.
My brother is Christopher.
What? Okay. He's still my crack reporter. Look, he got answers
Please
from
don't,
the...
Please don't talk about crack on the show.
Okay.
The show's called The Cure.
He's my top-notch reporter. What are you? I don't know. But he's
your go-to man.
He got in touch with the sheriff's office for me last week. He got in touch with this, you know, figured this stuff out this week with CDPHE. I mean, so anyway, Custer got the news quick, and he actually got this because Greg works in our office, and where's R2? We have this thing, and it's called a calculator. See, and
What's
not
that?
Calculator. And look, only Greg would have one this big.
I know that.
But, you know, look,
That's like Gavin's size.
we have this. Well, the doctor doesn't have one because
Maybe as an abacus.
as part of this really stupid article that was in the Denver Post, the doctor says that medical marijuana is really bad, really bad.
Really bad.
And one of the reasons it's really, really bad is because the roller coaster ride we are on, which we as a state have been mostly for the past 4 years, and I'm reading this like it's written, was zealots on both sides of the same issue doing their best to manipulate the legal and medical systems in their favor. And the fact that currently 94% of the registered medical marijuana users have been certified with only the diagnosis of severe pain. Stop right there, Doc. That is a load of crap, okay? And it's just not true.
Stop, Doc. Stop. Time out, doctor.
Time. Okay,
Doc.
R2, time. And we, you know, we at first gave the doc a kind of benefit of the doubt and said, okay, he's a doctor. He can't add, okay?
Right.
Don't have him figuring out your prescriptions, and definitely don't have him filling the syringes. He can't add. So then we took it a step farther, and we said, now where would the doc get this 94% figure? And so Chris looked into it and went to the Department of Health website, okay, CDPHE. Wow, they have this huge chart. And you know what, Georgia and Amy, on not one but two places, CDPHE warns you that when you're getting this data, that patients qualify for more than one condition,
yeah.
not just one. And it warns you not one place but two places, both in like the word part, which the doc would have to read, but also the math part where they're just like these numbers.
Which the doc would have to understand.
Yeah, but there's a big star. And it's highlighted.
It is highlighted.
And it says, remember, it adds up to more than 100%. So that only word is kind of problematic. And then when you actually add it up, it adds up to 131%.
Oh, my goodness.
Like, makes
oh, my
no
goodness.
sense. Why? Because anybody who qualifies for the other goddamn things obviously is in chronic pain.
Right.
I mean, if you have AIDS, you probably have chronic
pain. Cancer, leukemia.
Can I tell you as a patient?
MS.
Come on, look. Big calculator, add it up, but when you put in the only, and when he does the only, that means he's a liar. Because
what's the doctor's name again?
Let me go back, okay? Because we got really it's Dr. Mark Johnson, and we urged people to go to the guest commentary on the Denver Post, and to also,
please.
you know, denverpost.com, and also get in touch with the editorial board at the denverpost.com, because their crack staff in a Sunday edition didn't catch the fact that the math was way wrong. And these guys know this.
And in that regard, you can definitely say crack. Here's the thing. Dr. Johnson, I know you're not listening because you're not trying to educate yourself on the truth about cannabis, whether you think we're zealots or not. A couple of things. One is CDPHE has done an amazing job of getting as much statistics out on their website as possible, and that's been really helpful. But you know what? As a chronic pain sufferer, let me just tell you that it's extremely important to me personally for my quality of life and for my ability to, stand up, that I'm a medical marijuana patient. And so if you're concerned about my diagnosis, first of all, I have a physician who is Harvard educated and who regularly checks up with me and asks me to check up with him.
Yeah, but we'll get, we can put the Harvard thing aside because, Harvard guys, what?
I know. Coming from a Dartmouth family, Warren and I...
We don't deal with Harvard guys.
Warren and I have little care.
Yeah.
But
my dad just had to tune in. And now we're going to get comments. Oh, my God.
My dad and my... Yeah. But the fact of the matter is, to downplay chronic pain, even if it's a single diagnosis, which it's not, as you're pointing out, even if it's a single diagnosis, I personally, my ability to function is solely because I can use topicals on my hip and I can stand up.
Well,
right?
I guess, and we can get on our soapboxes and rant and rave and all that fun stuff. My problem is that the Denver Post printed this in the Sunday edition, and that they put it under guest commentary, and that a doctor allegedly wrote this, and it's just utterly a piece of crap, just on like a layperson's perspective.
That's right.
And again, once we get through 420 and all the chaos we have for the next couple of weeks, we'll get a doctor back on and start to discuss some of the details of this. Because, I didn't even get into the part about he doesn't even, like you're saying, the delivery system. He harps on smoking and that crap without even, going in a place and realizing that there are now dozens, if not freaking 100 different ways to either eat this, vaporize this, drink this. It's just wild. And
maybe we'll ask Mark to be on our show.
You should, because my guess is he'd have no idea that a person like you exists who doesn't consume it recreationally, doesn't consume it at all, but freaking rubs it on your hip.
You know what, though? I bet you or I could do the whole innocuous thing and be like, oh, we have this great radio show and we talk about medical topics. Love to have you on.
Sorry, girls. Google. You're both fucked. Google.
That's if he knows how to use Google. He doesn't know how to use a calculator, so maybe he doesn't know how to use Google.
Well, that's because these things are new.
We have to take a break.
It's new technology.
New stuff.
We have to take a break because we have Nico waiting in the wings
and I've got to go.
No, you don't. You have to sit there, actually.
I'm out of here.
Yeah, no, I want you to sit
Nico's
there.
going to want to talk to you.
Over there.
You realize that.
Here.
Thank you so much to our
Nico
sponsors.
does not want to talk to me.
One of our favorite sponsors is Noto Urban Garden Supply, located at 1330 27th Street in Denver, Colorado.
Close.
In between Larimer and Walnut Street on 27th. They are a wonderful source of all your garden supplies, whether you are a hobbyist or whether you are a commercial gardener. Noto Urban Garden Supply is your source for the most wonderful garden supplies. They also provide a wonderful compost tea free to all of their patients, in addition to all of the most wonderful name brand garden supplies, including things like Foxfire and Fox Farm and some wonderful, wonderful products. Go see our friend Levi, who, as you know, does a Ask Levi All Your Gardening Tips show on our show once a month. So please visit Noto Urban Garden Supply, NotoUrbanGardenSupply.com at 1330 27th, and we will be right back.
The law offices of Edson, Maiden, and Matz provide criminal defense, medical marijuana defense, and advice about setting up and running medical marijuana centers, optional premises cultivation operations, and infused product manufacturing businesses throughout Colorado. With offices in Denver and Aspen, we can offer assistance throughout the entire state of Colorado. Give us a call at 303-831-8188. That's 303-831-8188. Or visit us online at warrenedson.com.
California's Attorney General has determined that the Repeal Cannabis Prohibition Act will save hundreds of millions of dollars from our overburdened justice system while creating hundreds of millions in new tax revenues from new sustainable jobs and industries that are friendly to our environment. But we can't do it without your help. We are seeking your donations to get on the ballot. Please go to repealcannabisprohibition.org to learn more about how you can help. It's time to end the war on cannabis and hemp in California. It's time to end the madness. Paid for by Sensible Californians Incorporated.
I'm Gary Johnson, and you're listening to iCannabis Radio, and I want to say, talk it up, Colorado.
Help defend women's rights in the pursuit of equality. Join Americans all across the United States on April 28, 2012. as we come together as one to tell members of Congress in Washington, D.C. and legislatures in all 50 states enough is enough. All Americans have the right to make a decision about their own bodies, including contraception, without interference from government, business, or religious institutions. Join us at Civic Center Park, April 28th at 10 a.m. www.unitedwomen.net.
Are you a runner? Are you a runner who supports marijuana legalization? Run on Grass is a group of athletes actively seeking to change our marijuana laws. We speak the truth about cannabis, bringing the message through our feet to new ears. Check out runongrass.com to find out more about us, our events, and how to join up or how to sponsor a runner. If you're in the Denver area, please join us for runs or start a group in your area. Running not your thing? Any sport can do it. On grass. Runongrass.com. Let's face it, rules and regulations are complicated, especially in the field of medical marijuana. Let Medical Marijuana 101 help you get through the compliance process. We can also explain to you your employment requirements, your employees, and your business. But our work doesn't stop there. Our experience in cultivation ranges from the design of grow rooms to the diagnosis and resolution of grow problems. Visit us at www.medicalmarijuana101.com or call 303-831-8188. That's 303-831-8188.
After that discussion.
Yeah.
Hey, you're here on iCannabis Radio and the Amy and Georgia show, but Georgia's not here. Amy's here, and I'm here, and I'm Warren. While Chris finds Nico, who is packing to come here to Colorado tomorrow to start to... he has to organize the Cannabis Cup. I'll try to go through some of the details of what this year's like, because last year was a highly entertaining event, but this year here in the Cannabis Cup is something completely different. We took some of the rules from Amsterdam, and we took some of the rules that we used last year here. There we go. There's
Hello.
Nico.
Hi, Nico. You're
Hey!
You're on
Nico.
iCannabis Radio, the George and Warren, the Cure, and Amy, the Cure show.
You need to work on that entry.
I know. I'm so used to just saying George and Warren, but
What's up, you guys? How you doing?
good. Welcome.
And Nico,
Thank you.
if you can bear with us for 1 sec, I want to explain to the listeners how this year's rules are different than we ran the Cup last year, and then I'll let the girls talk to you both about your book and the event and all that fun stuff. But,
Sure, Warren. Sounds good.
Cool, because one of the things, because I was lucky enough to have High Times and Nico invite me over to the Amsterdam Cup this year. And so while I'd been to that part of Europe before, and I'll leave it at that, I had never been to the Cup, and I'd never seen how it really ran. And the fact that the week before the Cup, there are massive amounts of people going around Amsterdam, visiting the various smoke shops, buying a gram or two to sample, and then coming to the event while it's scheduled and voting for their favorite strains. And so this year we decided to incorporate some of that into the rules here in Colorado. So basically it would be back at the Expo Event Center this year. It'll be Saturday and Sunday, the 21st and the 22nd. They have highly entertaining events at City Hall on Friday and Saturday night.
I'm so unbelievably excited. I'm sorry to interrupt, Warren, but as a huge old school reggae fan, I am like counting the minutes until I see Barrington.
She's going to do the dirty dance.
Maybe a little
It's going to
bit.
happen.
Sorry,
whatever.
Warren.
Scott just turned red for the 30th time tonight. And we're not going there. But so one of the different things this year, though, is that we have a Patient's Choice Award. So starting next Friday, or is it Friday or Saturday, Nico? Because I kind of get confused.
It is Saturday.
It'll go out. The email will go out Friday night, so it'll actually start Saturday.
Okay, so Saturday, people who've already bought their ticket for the Cup, who are patients, will get a cool email from High Times with a way to vote on strains and what centers have entered in the Cup. And so they'll have a whole week to go visit different centers around Denver and other areas, and then come to the Cup and vote themselves. Because while we'll have the same lab tests that we had last year, so we'll have kind of that technical scientific crap going on, we'll actually have the patients who will get to go visit places, check out what kind of specials are offered at the various places, things like that, and then come vote for themselves. At the actual event this year, we will have a patients area where, again, sorry guys, not a whole lot of distribution amongst businesses. They have to follow these goddamn med rules. We'd love to, but they can't. But there'll be a patient area so patients can bring their own. They can bring the stuff they brought from the different places. They can chat with patients about it. They can chat with the centers they bought it from about it. They can get lab results. They can figure out why they like that strain so much, or frankly, why they hated that strain so much. They can talk with the edible makers. They can talk with the hash makers. And then on top of that, in the other venue across the alley, we have all sorts of cool speakers for 2 days. And not to jump the gun on anything, but I really want to hear the BHO solventless lecture.
I do too.
Where, we'll have Nick T there, we'll have Dan there, we'll have some doctors there, and we can get some real facts about BHO, about solventless hash, about what might be good, what might be bad, and where we need to research so we can come together as a community and figure that out. But anyway, that's the event this year, and that's why it's completely different than last year, and it's pretty cool because we adopted that whole Euro thing. And as patients here in Colorado, it's a wonderful opportunity to get a lot of information about a lot of marijuana for a great price.
Yeah.
So,
sorry, I don't mean to cut you off there, Warren, but
well done, man.
Nico, how do you
go ahead, Georgia. Go ahead.
How do you follow that? Like
he's one of the world's greatest growers. That's how he follows that. Jesus Christ, it's really easy.
Yeah, I'm just going to talk about growing cannabis now for
exactly. So can I just interrupt and say, Nico, I'm so happy. I say this every single time that the reason why I love doing the show is because I get to talk to my friends on the radio, and it's recorded for all of history. And you came on last year for the Cup, and we have loved you ever since. And so not only am I so excited that you're coming into town tomorrow, because I think we have plans with you tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday. Warren's head is shaking. Friday,
you're telling him this now.
Saturday, every day for
So it's so wonderful that we get to talk to our friends, and it's so great because we just think you're a freaking rock star.
Thank you, but I'm not a rock star. Actually, I was going to say kind of the same thing about Warren, because Warren, kudos to you. You really you brought the Amsterdam model to Denver, and that's something that we've never been able to do before in the U.S. Not that we haven't been able to do it, but it's, logistically speaking, it poses some problems for us, being so far away, and we haven't really had good guidance and counsel in that regard, and when you brought it up, everybody, at High Times really jumped on board, so thank you for that.
Well, thanks, Nico, because it's really a win-win for everybody. It's a win for the centers because they get to display their product in their centers and have patients actually come into their store. And it's a win for the patients because they not only get to go in all these stores, but they get to go to this event if they don't have time to go to all these stores and see all these numbers and information and try to decide what medicine works best for them. Because one thing our enforcement division is having the hardest time understanding is this isn't frigging penicillin.
Right.
That when you get it at CVS in Glenwood Springs, it's the same as CVS in Denver. It's not. We haven't figured this out, and patients need a place to go and view everything in one place and figure out what works best for them and find out this information.
Well, and one of the things that Nico knows so well is that depending on your skill as a grower, your ability to grow really good medicine varies. And so patients have to determine what dispensary has a medicine that works for them.
Well, in this state, they can do both.
Right.
They can have 3 plants with you, and you're growing at MMD, and they can have following Nico's advice and reading his book and tapes,
which they
and
should,
seeing if they can do their own thing and combine the both. Because damn it, we know it takes 3 to 4 months.
So, you're suggesting? Did you just openly suggest that they should follow Nico's advice and come to MMD? Because that's what I heard. Located at 2609 Walnut Street. At least that's what I extrapolated from that.
I would, but the Salazars bought me more drinks today.
I was going to say, I'll give a shout out.
This isn't the Edson report. So
I'll give a shout out to my friends at MMJ America.
That doesn't count if it was that 24 karat or Sweet 200 or Chloe, because he gets that for free.
No. We were in Coors Field.
So there's
but
nothing.
He gets it for free.
That's Never mind. So Nico, right back to you, my friend. So
it was Uncle, not
you
Dad.
come in time tomorrow, and you have a lot to coordinate between now and and next Friday. So what are the things that are going to be on your plate besides hanging out with Warren and I? Because
one, smoking a lot. Never mind.
Because that goes without saying. So what's on your plate between now and when the official event starts?
Oh, well, yeah.
Going to the library. And then
he's going to go to confession and...
yeah, I'm the first one out, for all of these events. And the lead time is about 2 weeks to get it off the ground. Of course, there's different components. We have the expo, we have the parties you guys mentioned before, but the competition takes the most work. So I get in tomorrow. I'm actually packing my suitcase as I talk to you guys. And, the first thing that has to happen is the competitors need to, come and register, and that happens this week, so that next week, leading up to the actual event, we can give our judges, our medical patient judges, as much time as possible, to go through, their samples.
And where is that address again? Georgia? Because I don't think Nico even knows.
2615 Walnut Street. Just to let you know. Nico, write that down.
Yeah, I guess. But are you? Yeah.
She's going to be in charge of that.
Should we really say that? Okay, we said
2615.
Well, no,
I said it. I didn't say it.
No.
Zip.
Well, yeah. Warren's my counsel here, so yeah.
Sorry, man. That's my least of my concerns because we're all like a real live legal system.
That's
so
the most of my concerns because I run a retail store.
No, you're
right. Actually, what was it? No, you got the address wrong because it's 2609, and that's MMD.
That's MMD's address,
which is not where people should go. And we'll get the other address out next week.
Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this week is just for the competitors.
That's right.
That's what I think you're talking about. So that's only for the MMCs to come and register, and that's how we get that's how we start the event. Obviously, is by getting as much medicine together.
Well, because we got to test it. No, we got to test it. We got to. A bunch of stuff has to happen. And Nico, because I know a lot of Coloradans are not familiar. What is the lab again that's doing the testing this year?
Actually, we have 3 labs. I'm really proud to say we try to incorporate as many of local industry as we can. Bring in different labs each time. This year we have in Colorado we have Herbal Synergy. And we have Canada Mobile Testing. They will be doing all of the flowers and the concentrates. They'll be testing that on a GC, gas chromatography machine. And then we brought in Can Labs, which is one of the better-known labs, I believe, in Colorado. And they're going to be doing all the edible testing because they have what we call an HPLC, which is a liquid chromatography test, and that's the only way you can accurately test edibles. So we have 3 labs partnering up with us for this event.
And I'm pretty sure they're at 3888 East Mexico?
Yeah, Can Labs
I think so. And sometimes they have problems with their plumbing, and it leaks, and it wrecks our conference room table. But we'll talk to Jennifer about that again.
Well, they also have a mass spec now, which kind of opens a lot of possibilities.
Well, and my job is to pick on them. So
I'm sure Jennifer loves it.
And Nico, I'm assuming, which is a bad assumption, but I'm assuming that part of your
outside of you and me and all that stuff.
Right. I'm assuming that part of your activities next week will be doing a live from iCannabis Radio Studios interview, which means you'll be right where Can Labs is. Right?
Yes. Wait, is Can Labs in your little studio?
Yeah, no, it's literally above us.
It's in our buildings. Yeah. There are toilet leaks on our conference room.
Yeah, seriously. We had a plumbing
But we love
problem
Jen,
like
so it doesn't matter.
And it was hysterical. So that's why we're openly making fun of them. But they're aware of that. We do it all the time.
And they're wonderful. Actually, all those labs are fantastic, and we're really happy that you're using as many local businesses as possible to support the cup as well as the economy of Colorado.
Well, and Nico, if you didn't know, the very owners of the Exto building where the cup will be own this building. And so they are clearly friendly to the industry, and this building is full of cannabis businesses now.
Do you want to tell the funny story now about that?
No, you tell the funny story, Em.
I don't want
Because
to.
I've been there.
You don't want to tell a funny story about that?
This is a brand new building from when
No,
you were
yeah, we
here,
actually
Nico,
moved.
last. Yeah, this is a
We
brand
got
new.
our ass kicked out of the last building because our landlord
Oh.
wasn't so happy with us.
So this is a brand new space from where you were last year. You're going to
It's much
love
fancier.
this space. Yeah, it's wonderful.
We're in the old Denver Election Commission building.
But Amy has a funny story. What's your
What's the funny
story,
story?
Amy?
So the same guy that owns this building, owns Exto, was also the main owner investor of the Growbots last year, which one of them disappeared.
Yeah.
The Growbot that was stolen
So that's why it's
from the
funny.
Cannabis
Oh, the
Club.
trailer.
Yes,
exactly.
the trailer.
Well, and I'm
Yeah.
Someone not so discreetly just got in and drove away.
Did we ever find that? Did that ever show up?
We never found it. They were
It
really
showed up in
upset.
southern Mexico.
someday it'll be in the movie, and
It was
it'll
in
be
Mexico,
just
yeah.
another addition to
We'll
the
make
movie.
a great documentary, The Life of the Growbot. What
And it's
happened
more
to
we
it.
know who didn't steal it because we know everybody who hung out.
I
So,
didn't steal it.
Like we know Scott didn't, and Jason didn't, and Custer.
I
didn't.
would hate to see Scott try to steal a trailer.
That
That
That'd
would
be hilarious.
just,
That'd be
like,
hilarious.
Anyway, hey, we got Nico on the line. Jesus
I'm
Christ!
sorry. You know,
I mean,
Nico, it's like being
I'm
on
still
the,
here, yeah. I'm just.
It's like being on the line with my sister. Like I feel like I don't necessarily have to include you in everything because you just know. So I apologize for that.
So Nico, for our listeners who are like live under a rock and don't know who you are,
Right.
Can you explain who you are and what kind of books and videos you have,
And then
what
you know what?
do every month?
and pump it up because otherwise we'll have to pump it up for you.
And you don't want
Okay.
these two to do that.
Well, I felt that, last year I came in, Georgia, and I had provided a bio, and it was kind of long because I just thought you would pick and choose, and you read the whole thing, and it made me sound like I thought I had this, rock star life, and I think you even referred to me as a self-proclaimed expert, and it really kind of like made me think like, wow, do I walk around with this big, head and a chip on my shoulder? So I don't want to like.
You still wear your sunglasses
No,
at night?
you know what, Nico, you are the shit. And so if I said self-proclaimed, what I meant was I'm so happy to be talking to Nico. That's what I meant by that.
No, I took no offense, but honestly, self-promotion is not what I'm great at. But I would be happy to tell you about a project that I recently released. First, okay, Warren, who am I? Yes, I'm Nico Escondido, a cultivation editor for High Times, have been for the past 5 years, along with Danny Danko, who everybody I'm sure knows. And last year, I was in Colorado. We did some filming, and we released Nico Escondido's Grow Like a Pro DVD, which I'm pretty proud of. It's kind of amateurish, but I think it gets the job done. And everybody's probably seen my photos and my stories in High Times, I hope. And we just try to mix it up. We try to have something for everybody, for the beginner to an intermediate to an advanced grower, just so that each time they pick up an issue, we're not naive. We know a lot of growers like to read about what's going on in our industry and stuff, and sometimes there's not much that I could teach to advanced grower. To be perfectly honest, when I come out there for these events and I meet all kinds of fine caregivers and people who have been doing this for generations, families have been doing this for 30, 40 years, even before medical, and I learn just as much as I probably teach to people, which is really the miracle for me, because I was just a grower,
Nico,
and
we have all
I
these
fell into this
people.
thing.
We have
people like you.
88,000 people who have the ability to grow marijuana. So I'm hoping when you're here, because if your
Next
listeners
week,
aren't aware, Nico's incredibly approachable. And if you
That's
have
right.
questions about the marijuana you're growing at home because you're a patient and you decided to go into a center and buy a plant or two to see what happens, please talk to Danny, talk to Nico. They're here. Come attend this event because, man, people look at that price and there's a little bit of a pause, but you're talking about two different concerts. You're talking about 2 days of going and listening to these lectures, going and find people like Danny and Nico, getting Nico to sign your book, getting a book, asking him questions.
Video, yeah.
We're one of the few places in the country where you could then walk down the street to
MD of Colorado.
What was the one we went? Riverside?
River
right around
Rock.
the corner. No, Riverside.
Oh, Riverside.
Was
Riverside is right around the corner from us. Yeah.
From
Riverside.
Exto. There are a bunch of places where
Yeah.
you could then just go get a immature plant because we don't use the C word anymore.
You know what,
in
Nico?
Colorado.
One of the things I hope when you're on next week, one of the things I want you to talk about is
Did you tell him he's on next week?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we'll bribe you, Nico. We'll make it so worth your while. You'll have dinner and stuff like that. Warren
Actually,
will cook.
Rick Cusick will like
threaten.
And Rick will be on.
Threatening.
And Nico, have you seen me with Rick? I'm like so starstruck. I mean, we're friends, and I love him, but he says things, and
Nico doesn't
swoon.
patrol those videos.
I swoon. Warren even says that he just wants to leave Rick and I in a room together because I get so ridiculous. But nonetheless,
he's great.
I mean,
he is the heart and soul of High Times.
He is one of the most wonderful people I've ever met in my life. But we're talking about you. One of the things I want you to talk about. Yes, we are. One of the things I want you to talk about next week, Nico. You have this really interesting kind of sordid past.
What?
He does. I mean, the whole Mexico thing.
Wait, what's going on here?
Okay. No, not a sordid past.
Wow.
Warren.
Sordid.
I can't believe you remember that.
Dude, it's worse than my kid. She remembers everything. Everything.
But it's so interesting. Your progression, especially for someone who's so young and has worked so hard. I mean, I want our listeners to really hear what you have done and all the work that you've put in to learning your craft. I mean, you're a grow artist. And I think next week I'm really hoping that not only can we talk about the cup and what that means to you, because you have taken the brunt of that for High Times, and it's a lot of work. But the bottom line is you're a botany artist, and I want to be able to talk a lot about that.
Wow, that's very kind of you. I appreciate those words. Yeah, I mean, it's that's the thing, and people approach me all the time, especially at the cups, especially after a seminar, and I'm just right there, and everybody comes up, and it's overwhelming, because I mean, it could have happened really, honestly, to anybody. I mean, and how do you react to stuff like that? And people are really into it. It's funny because you brought up Rick, and Rick gave me a really good piece of advice when I first started back at High Times. I said to him, I'm really not into promoting myself or being a star. It's not what I'm here for. I made a choice to do this to help people, and that's really all I care about. And, Rick said to me, you know what, it's really nice, nice sentiment that you have there, but to be honest, to a lot of people, we are this entity, this High Times is iconic, and
right.
In all honesty, you have a responsibility to those people. They look up to you, they're excited to see you, and you can't shy away from that, whether you like it or not, you have to be there, you have to be a face, you have to give them what they want.
Yep.
Above and beyond just the information, above the articles about what, beyond what I do in the magazine. And that was something hard to deal with, becoming a personality. I mean, I'm not a movie star. I'm an outgoing guy, but, it's a weird thing, but it's very humbling, and it really makes you see the good side of everything that we're doing. And, it sucks that I see it because I'm down, obviously. We're all down. We're down with cannabis. We know it's a nice plant. It's a beautiful thing. If only, the guy at the DEA or hell, even Obama, if he could see, and feel what I get to see and what I get to feel from these amazing people, maybe people would start to change their perspective. You know what I mean? But, yeah, you're right. It's awesome, and it's been a long road, but, I'm here. I'm here for the cause.
Well, we're really proud of you. I mean, we consider you a friend, and we love the fact that people see Nico as the personality, and we feel a little bit like we know Nico as the person. And you know what? I mean, the fact of the matter is that those things go hand in hand. And yes, people think that they know you because they read about you, they read your article in High Times, but you really are true to who you want to be, which is a person who wants to share the ability to grow really good product for people.
Yeah, it's just a matter of paying it forward, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not sure, was that Amy? I don't know.
That was
Georgia. That was Georgia. Yeah, typical.
Like I said, I learned. I did all this stuff before High Times, and I'll do it again after High Times. So while I'm at High Times and I travel and I meet people.
He didn't say that. He did not say that. Yeah, he'd only do that in countries that would allow him to do that. Or in states where he'd gotten residency.
Remember, you're
on
the radio with your attorney.
Right, exactly. I would never do that here in Jersey. But
hell no. Not in Jersey. God. Well, and Ann Davis will take care of you anyway. And
although
William
we
Buckman,
know someone who could help you out.
But anyway, Nico does too.
Yeah. We just opened our first. We're about to open our first dispensary here. So finally,
we are keeping our fingers crossed for you and keeping our listeners updated on that. And Nico, even though my wife has been kissing your butt tonight, what we aren't announcing. Well, you haven't even let people know.
She's got the heart shape around his face
but
right
do you know
now.
what
So
Saturday?
she just really wants to
do you
talk
know what's
to him.
happening on Saturday, the 21st of April? Because I'm guessing that I just lost my seat to Amy because the Colorado Rapids pay the Los Angeles, right? And who does that mean, Georgia?
Galaxy.
Beckham.
Oh, you're not a Beckham fan, are you?
You know what? I'm not a Galaxy fan, but I love me.
She's a Beckham fan.
I love me some Beckham. We're
old school Arsenal people, so we try.
No,
not to talk
Donovan,
about those
Landon,
other
man.
teams,
Oh, hush your mouth, boy. Who do we have in my show?
Made in America. Made in America.
Oh my God, Amy, help me out here.
Nico, we're sad
Where do your
enough
seeds come from?
Actually, we aren't the sad ones. The Colorado Rapids, even though they were the MLS champions last year,
before last,
are lucky enough to have iCannabis Radio and Edson Maintenance Mats as their number one sponsor.
Yes.
Are you kidding?
Wow.
No, for real, I am not.
Nice.
Dude, we need to get one of them on the show.
No, we can't get any of them. We could have gotten Omar Cummings' wife, but we won't get into that.
Yeah, but she's a crazy.
But yeah, we actually have.
I thought we go to a game next week. Is that?
No. We give away tickets every week. If you want to go, let us know because we have a number of passes to every event.
Nico, we have your social life completely wrapped up, buddy.
They're fabulous with us, and they love the medical marijuana industry. And in fact, a number of dispensaries or centers have tables and chairs at their events. It's a really good time. But anyway, I'm getting the...
There's a medicating area, right, in the stadium?
Yeah,
it's called a car.
Well, it's called our car.
The breezeway.
Well, it's the VIP parking lot. It is the VIP parking lot because the other half is the Pit Army, and they're just drunk as shit, so they don't have time to be medicated. But
so we've been talking to Nico Escondido from High Times Magazine, and it has been our pleasure. Nico, we assume that you're going to be calling either Warren or I tomorrow so that we can make sure that we're hanging out as much of your free time as possible. Although
ruining it or hanging out?
Not ruining it. We don't. I might ruin it. Actually, Nico, you want to hang out with Warren? I mean, truth be told, Warren and Amy are much more fun than I am. I'm a 9 o'clock bedtime kind of girl. Okay, our producer Chris Custer is saying hang out with Tom.
Much cooler.
Who's this Amy? I don't think I met Amy.
I'm the...
You're gonna do.
I'm the sass of the group.
No, focus it, not on me.
So yeah, so if you check out Amy, you're gonna definitely be. If you check out, that's not what I meant. Come on, you guys.
Yes, it is.
I don't think it's possible to make me blush,
Amy,
but you're trying pretty hard.
So Nico, Amy and I are great friends. We've been great friends for a while. She is a phenomenal person, an amazing.
But she works for Kush Magazine.
I do work for Kush Magazine. I'm all about cooperation, though.
There is that. But Nico, give us a call when you get into town tomorrow. We want to make sure that everything's a-okay. Probably want to give you a home-cooked meal or two.
That sounds wonderful.
Not by Georgia.
That's where Warren's like, bring the Italian girl in. She'll be okay.
Warren's the cook in our family. But thank you so much for being on. We cannot wait for the...
And Crunchy's here.
Right, we cannot wait for the cup. It's always such a good time, and
absolutely
in studio live next week, you and my heartbeat Rick.
Well, and any High Times people we can get, and we want to remind our listeners that we got the Edson report tomorrow morning. We have Crunchy and the whole crew, even Scott Green, we're going to let back on the air tomorrow night. And yeah, Nico, it has been the most amazing thing. Like, we have all these soccer tickets, and so the last time we went, we always tailgate, and we have this nice blue tent and all this fun stuff.
Yeah.
But last time, these guys that run the Thunderdome radio on Wednesday, tomorrow night, showed up and actually cooked real food, and it was amazing. Wow. But yeah, you'll get to meet Crunchy and all that fun stuff because a real life chef from downtown Denver works with us. But
I'm down. You just let me know.
We will. Thanks, man.
All right.
Appreciate it. And thanks so much, guys, for having me back.
Thank you so much.
Always
of course.
a good time.
Absolutely. You've been listening to iCannabis Radio, and we'd like to thank our sponsors. Our next sponsor is Medical Marijuana of the Rockies, your mountain source for meds, mmrockies.com, located in Frisco, Colorado. These guys are freaking amazing. That's what I have to say. They've been our sponsor for a really long time.
And they sponsored our Table at the Cup.
And they've also been our biggest sponsor for the iCannabisRadio.com sponsor at the Cannabis Cup. Please visit them. You guys know all the deal. They have a wonderful clone selection. They also have an ever-changing strain selection located on their website at mmrockies.com, medicalmarijuanarockies.com, your mountain source for meds. Please go visit them. They have been just a wonderful sponsor of ours, and we will be right back.
Let's face it, rules and regulations are complicated, especially in the field of medical marijuana. Let Medical Marijuana 101 help you get through the compliance process. We can also explain to you your employment requirements, your employees, and your business. But our work doesn't stop there. Our experience in cultivation ranges from the design of grow rooms to the diagnosis and resolution of grow problems. Visit us at www.medicalmarijuana101.com or call 303-831-8188. That's 303-831-8188.
The law offices of Edson, Maiden, and Matz provide criminal defense, medical marijuana defense, and advice about setting up and running medical marijuana centers, optional premises cultivation operations, and infused product manufacturing businesses throughout Colorado. With offices in Denver and Aspen, we can offer assistance throughout the entire state of Colorado. Give us a call at 303-831-8188. That's 303-831-8188. Or visit us online at warrenedson.com.
Puff Puff Pass. It's the New Jersey Weed Man, and I'm listening to iCannabis Radio.
Are you a runner? Are you a runner who supports marijuana legalization? Run on Grass is a group of athletes actively seeking to change our marijuana laws. We speak the truth about cannabis, bringing the message through our feet to new ears. Check out runongrass.com to find out more about us, our events, and how to join up or how to sponsor a runner. If you're in the Denver area, please join us for runs or start a group in your area. Running not your thing? Any sport can do it. On grass. Runongrass.com.
Run on Grass. You know, we need to get that thing going more.
I agree.
There are so many marathons, there are so many running events, and we have so many medical cannabis users in this state.
I feel like we should have a run every single month and rotate the cause that benefits from it based on if it's like, so in December it's AIDS Awareness Month.
Yep.
In May it's MS. And so like if you do that, you benefit everyone. It's something regular. It's not that hard. You could run the same route even.
It is, and you know, part of the problem is that financial thing, because, you know, we have patients out of time, and we're constantly, you know, friggin' like PBS here, hitting everybody up for money every week, you know, trying to just help patients, but that's part of the deal. But part of that, I mean, that the Run on Grass thing is so fabulous, because if any of you haven't been, when you go to these one of these events like the Rock and Roll Marathon or the Denver Colfax Marathon or some of these other things, I mean, there was these Easter things over the weekend. You wouldn't believe the response from average Joe, softball dad, and soccer mom when Georgia and Seth and some of those others run by with their Run on Grass shirts. I mean, at the point we had Tatum Bell, ex-NFL running back, wearing a Run on Grass shirt. I mean, the reaction of these people is just like, wow, what, huh? And you just did what? And huh? And then when they talk to Georgia and other people who aren't recreational users, but literally just rub this lotion on your...
easy there. On
we
your
break
hips,
down
not me,
knees,
not me, you. You know, Scott's head just exploded.
We just break down the
Fourth time tonight.
stereotypes. People like Georgia and
Exactly.
they don't expect it, and they don't expect someone to be well-spoken and informed and kind of innocuous to them.
Well,
so.
and now we got, you know, incredible skiers that are talking about using medical marijuana. We have rock climbers talking
that's my
about
favorite.
it. We have bicycle
Just need to
people
keep
talking
doing it.
about it.
Actually, this is a great segue because we're talking about using cannabis. So our next guest on the show is going to be Tony Verzura, who is the CFO of River Rock, and he is actually organizing an effort.
Hello.
Hello,
Wait,
Tony.
But Amy, what's this?
What Welcome to the show,
How you doing?
Tony.
Sorry, I hate your doctor.
Sorry, Warren's still on the calculator bit.
It's just my new
I was
peeve.
just welcome, Tony. This is Tony from River Rock Wellness, and I was just finishing your introduction, explaining that you have just organized and started an initiative called Patient Stories, which is basically an effort to collect data and personal accounts. And I wanted you to maybe, tell us a little bit more about what exactly Patient Stories is and what it's all about.
Sure. I appreciate the opportunity, first of all. Patient Stories, or PS as we like to call it, was first developed because we felt the medical cannabis movement as an overall needed a bit of a facelift from conventional approaches. And we wanted the patients themselves to tell the truth instead of every other group in the world trying to talk for them.
That's right.
We were tired of patients being asked by their doctors to try cannabis, not as a first choice, but as a last result. With that being said, the Patient Stories was developed to share their stories with other patients as an educational outlet to let others know that cannabis is a safe, natural, effective alternative to over-the-counter pills or the combination of different pills.
Gotcha. And how can patients participate in sharing their story or, participating in patient stories directly?
Sure. The patient PS program is pretty simple. We are opening our doors to patients that want to share their stories and their conditions and how cannabis helps them with those particular conditions, and they can do so every Tuesday at River Rock verbally, on camera, or as a written statement. They don't have to actually go on camera.
Is it at both centers? Because you have one at 6th and Calumet and also one up at 49th and York. Yeah,
currently we're doing them at River Rock South on Tuesdays from 1 to 7.
And that's right next to Lamar's Donuts. For those of you not familiar, I think the address is 690 Calumet or 690.
I just love that MMC is next door to a donut place.
It's intoxicating smelling.
The whole stereotype is fantastic.
It's like the two best smells is donuts and cannabis.
Yeah, I think the Westward even said we were like the best smelling corner.
Actually, I have to say, no offense, Tony, but my store, MMD of Colorado, located across the street from Castleman's, is down the street from a mint factory. So you have mints halfway down the block, and then all of a sudden you have cannabis. Really? That's phenomenal. So I think
that is really good.
Can we tie?
Let's tie. Yeah, you definitely win.
No.
How about you are minty freshness and he's saccharine deliciousness?
Perfect.
Well, also as an incentive, we are offering 15% off of the retail, but taking it a little step further. If you do share your story,
right?
Is that okay if I keep talking?
For sure. I just wanted to clarify that the 15% was in relationship to sharing your story.
Yeah, it is. But we wanted to go a step further, and in this process, I think we do something a little different than most centers where we collect a lot of case studies, or at least I do, of patients, so that way when we meet other new patients with similar conditions, we kind of have a guide to start with, and we're not just shooting from the dark, pushing, an indica for sleep aid. Since we develop everything in-house, these stories also help us fine-tune our recommended treatment programs, plus helps us develop new methods or products for those particular patients. What this also does for us, in addition, is we're hoping to spread enough awareness so that we can reach patients that are really in need. And what that next program is actually called the sponsorship program. That's what this program is helping to fund. That program itself, we are opening our doors to 10 new sponsored patients at this particular time. As this program grows and feeds the sponsorship program, we'll be able to develop past that, but the 10 sponsorship program would be patients that are going through serious treatments or even terminal, and they are looking for additional financial help to anything that you might find on our website or any of our other specials.
Excellent.
So
what exactly is your sponsorship package, just for people who aren't familiar with what you do?
The sponsorship package you will get 25% off of all retail, and you will get ounces at $150 of anything you want. So if you just came in and wanted to buy an eighth, it would be 25% off of the $25. If you wanted to buy more, it would break down to $150. And then we also, depending on the patient, if they're homebound, we'll also drive to them. And there's all kinds of other things that we can offer as far as tinctures, concentrates, even rubs.
Which you all make in-house.
Huh?
Right, which
we make all in-house, correct.
Which really decreases the price of those, and
Yeah, and they have a...
Well, the other tricky thing is with the MED and everything is we have to cover our costs of goods.
Yeah.
So we can't no longer give patients that are like
below
this
cost
in
sales.
need. I would love to give it to them for free, which we used to do a long time ago, when I first started as a caregiver, like everyone else, when I was in a basement.
Way back in
the day.
And actually, that's not an MMED. That's actually a competition law. It's not an MMED law. It's a competition law, so that no company can offer below cost sales. So what you're doing is ensuring that you're covering just the basic cost of your sales to be able to provide your patients the best that you possibly can. Unfortunately, you're not allowed to give it away for free, because that would mean that you have an unfit advantage over someone else.
I know there's a couple other efforts out there to collect stories. I wanted to know if you're working with any other groups, any other MMCs, any doctors or other professionals that you're networking with for the Patient Stories Initiative.
Right now, we are, or at least I'm the one who's running this program. I'm not working with anyone else. I'm not opposed to working with anyone else. We just kind of got it started, and like everyone else, we've been running a million miles an hour since a couple of years ago.
I know that my MMC MD of Colorado will be happy to work with you. We have a lot of really amazing patients, especially we have a lot of female patients that have some pretty debilitating conditions that I think their stories need to be told. I want, as we all do, we want to get away from what the stereotype is, that it's some 22-year-old person who just wants to play the system. And not only do we have a lot of 22-year-olds who have, again, debilitating conditions, but we have a lot of women who do as well. So we'll be happy to partner with you in whatever way we can.
I'll pass along the digits so she can text you or call you.
Just to reiterate, we started the patient story thing just to get it going, and I've talked to Amy before on it. It's not just a River Rock thing. I would love to be able to see at some point, somehow, with some mechanism, with a bunch of centers, with a PS fund that would allow other patients to help fund this type of program. So what we do is we create like a sponsorship program fund that allows other individuals that qualify for the sponsorship program to actually access benefits, even beyond what I was just saying.
And iCannabis Radio would love to be able to help produce and sponsor some of those stories. Anyone who is interested in sponsoring the time that it would take to do that, contact me at Georgia@medicalmarijuana101.com. That's Georgia@medicalmarijuana101.com. We'll work in concert with River Rock and get people's stories out there. I mean, this is kind of a silly story, and I've told this on our show before, but my very Republican conservative father emailed his legislators with my story, with the fact that his daughter is a patient who I only use topicals, because he thought it was so important that the legislators in Illinois, very conservative, very backwoods Illinois, understood that there are ways to use cannabis other than to smoke it. And so that's what to me these stories are all about. I mean, there are a million stories, and the stories that we can use that will help resonate with people, to help people understand why it's so very important to take the stigma away and take the illegality away. I mean, whatever we can do, we're happy to support you.
Tony, do you have any contact information for people interested in either participating or lending a hand, volunteering, any email address or phone numbers that we can relay to our listeners?
Sure. If you email us at support@riverrockcolorado.com, and that's probably the best way. Let me see if I can find them.
That's support
just
at
because I give you the support, the email, or I'll give you the store.
And
you know what? I'll give you my
also
cell.
have a Facebook link for it too, right? Oh, don't play that game. You don't want to give yourself one.
Yeah,
that's a bad idea.
You know me, I do everything I can.
I've done that accidentally.
So
don't let me do that.
The store number that you could actually get on the list if you want to tell your story is 303-474-4136. That's 303-474-4136. You can call that number or email support at riverrockcolorado.com.
And also on Facebook, keep an eye out for the patient stories link.
Yeah, Also, we have River Rock TV on YouTube, and our Facebook is River Rock.
By the way, we're on YouTube. So.
Bye. We've also, iCannabis Radio, specifically the Cure, Amy, and my show, has done patient profiles. We did a month of them. We would be more than happy and willing to do another month if you have patients who want to share their story. It's incredibly compelling, especially as we get closer and closer to election season, and our candidates need to hear these stories. We would love to be able to share them.
Sure, and not to mention, like, when you're talking about rubs and topicals.
Yes, please.
I've had the greatest thing is when I get a new patient that comes in that all they do is they smoke indica. They're like trying to deal with chronic pain, L4, L5, or dislocated shoulder, and they actually can't get any sleep because of the pain. So now they developed an insomnia from their chronic pain. And our state doesn't really recognize insomnia at all, but it is a condition that really stems from the chronic pain.
That's right.
And like anything else you would do, if you're an athlete, retired athlete, or somebody that had knee or back pain or shoulder pain,
or hip
you would
pain.
Or hip pain, yeah, you would go to Walgreens or some other place to try to find a topical first. Then you'd pop 2 pills. That's the typical way we have been brought up and taught to deal with it. And when you deal with pills, you're dealing with cutting something in the nervous system. You're saying, hey, that's not really there. And when you deal with CBD treatments and you deal with cannabis treatments, you start to really activate the signaling and signing system of the human body, and it actually starts to correct itself, which most people do not know. So when you come into our store and you're used to buying, spending $60 on indicas, I love that challenge, because then I turn around and say, okay, I'm going to save you money and I'm going to get you away from smoking. And they usually look at me like I'm crazy, and the first thing I pull out is a $3 pain relief rub. Start with that. Go home, put that on. Try a CBD tea and try a gram, not 3 grams. Try smoking a little bit, through either a vaporizer or some kind of water purification, so that way they're getting the least amount of resistance on their lungs too. And 99% of patients that come in for that condition walk away saving money and actually getting the full 8 hours of sleep they're looking for.
Sleep is so precious. Tony makes fun of me because he knows I work my ass off and I don't sleep, so he's like, you are trouble. I wanted to just kind of wrap up with you and see if you or patient stories will be at the Cannabis Cup or any upcoming events, just so people in the next week or two can keep an eye out for you.
Yeah, actually, we have developed, I'm not really supposed to say this yet, but
another breaking segment on the Cure. Yeah.
We developed, it's kind of a cool thing. We are almost finished. It is an iPad app that breaks the plant down on an educational level and talks about and goes through 3D animations that you control on your iPad about CBN or CB1, CB2 receptors and how the entire signaling signing system works. And we used our Sour Tsunami in this project, so you can rotate around the plant and you can actually zoom in with your fingers up to 2,000 parts on the plant.
Oh, that's only sort of cool.
This is really cool because I think this is the first start.
It's awesome.
So now, and then we just had the, because of Sour Tsunami, I don't know if most people don't know that, but it was a strain that tested it was like 14.9 CBD and 9.7 THC. That has allowed us to extract and make CBDs and teas, and now the oil that just tested 93.7% and 55% CBD.
Yeah.
Shut your mouth
Actually,
right now,
he's
mister.
doing a good segue for me to promote Kush, because the next upcoming strain story is on Sour Tsunami.
Yeah, and Ringo, right? You did a story on him?
I did. I wrote it.
Yay, Aim.
So,
what do you mean? Yeah, you got the right guy.
We
right?
talk about which guy? Which one are we talking about?
The breeder himself.
Yes, the breeder himself. A little explanation about that. One thing Tony actually didn't mention is it's also high in CBNs, which is a new development that people are becoming interested in with the cannabinoids. So I'm just going to repeat the contact information so our listeners know how to get a hold of you. The email address is support@riverrockcolorado.com. Phone number is 303-474-4136. And every Tuesday at River Rock South, which is 6 in Kalamath, you're encouraged to come in, share your story, either written form or on a video, and you get 15% off. Did I miss anything?
And it helps fund the sponsorship program.
And it helps everyone. Sharing information, us being able to organize it, collect it, and disseminate it will help everyone.
Tony, thank you so much for doing this. I mean, I think that if you have any patients that would be willing to come on iCannabis Radio, Amy and I would love to be able to interview them.
Absolutely.
We've had some pretty amazing patients from people who are terminally ill, and really use this for their end of life, quality of life, to people who suffer from chronic pain and use cannabis to be able to get through their daily life. And everything in between, and we would love to be able to talk to your patients as well.
Very cool. And I have not met you yet, so let's try to get together.
I'll take care of that issue. No worries.
It's not as fun as meeting Amy.
It's good to work with other like-minded individuals.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Thank
you,
you, Tony.
To Tony from River Rock and talking about his patient stories. It's pretty exciting. This has been a very fun show, and it's going to be even more fun next week. We're going to be doing some live things from the Cannabis Cup as well, and we'd like to thank our sponsors.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
nice.
She says, oh.
Sort of sponsor list. I'd like to thank Mile High Wellness, Medical Marijuana of the Rockies, Nodo Urban Garden Supply, Edson Main and Matt's LLP, Medical Marijuana 101, Run on Grass, and please stay tuned for next week. We got Rico and Nick, right? Or Nico.
Nico and Rick, absolutely.
Wow.
Will be here next week.
Hello, dyslexia.
No, absolutely. A couple really quick things before we finish. We want to let everyone know that on Sunday, May 6th, the week before Mother's Day, Colorado Patients Out of Time will be having an early Mother's Day celebration. Moms for Marijuana will be the featured speaker. Again, Patients Out of Time, which provides grants for Colorado patients to have medical evaluations and their medical marijuana registry card paid for. Go to www.coloradopot.org. In addition, the Colorado Revival Film Festival, again, is April 16th through 19th at Castleman's. Do not forget to check them out. And we want to thank Vapor Brothers. Vapor Brothers has provided a wonderful vaporizer as a gift for the door prizes at the Colorado Patients Out of Time event. My name is Georgia.
My name's Amy.
And we are from The Cure.
The Cure with Georgia and Amy.
And we will see you. I like it too. And I like you.
I like you a lot,
and
girl.
And we'll see you next week, baby. Bye.
Bye-bye.